Kotaku editor-in-chief resigns after criticizing management. Jen Glennon says she believes the publication's new strategy is fundamentally misguided. Well, so were you. Greetings once again, my friends, and welcome back to the GNRO Minicast. I'm your host, Adam Mickelson, aka Drak. I hope everybody's having an awesome day or night when you're listening to this. And this article is a continuation from the last episode that I did, which covered Deadspin, which just so happens to fall under the exact same GNRO Media umbrella as Kotaku. And I find it funny that pretty much, I want to say 1 to 2 weeks after Deadspin was quietly sold off and completely destroyed and completely emptied, this happened to Kotaku. And I'm going to go ahead and refer everybody back to the previous one for the information that GNRO Media had on that. But yes, they fall under the exact same umbrella of GNRO Media. And in case you guys can't remember, GNRO Media, not really onto these whole political stance stories. They actually want you to stick to the material that you're supposed to be covering, which in Deadspin's case was sports, and in Kotaku's case was video games. Funniest thing. And this article is coming to us from Video Games Chronicle. I'm probably not going to use these guys regularly, but unfortunately this was the article that I could find. And the article author is Chris Scullion. Here's hoping you do well, Chrissy Poo. Kotaku editor-in-chief Jen Glennon has resigned from her role, criticizing the management team's new strategy. Glennon started her role as Kotaku editor-in-chief on October 10th. Reporting to management at the site's owner, GNRO Media. However, she today announced her resignation on X, or Twitter ban X, saying, "Some personal news. I've resigned from Kotaku, and Jim Spanfeller is an herb." Oh, that's such a really great and classy way to go out of your job. I'm so proud of you. Can everybody give a golf clap? Just a nice little golf clap for Jen Glennon making a total ass of herself. That is always the way to be able to do it. The latter comment is a reference to a long-running insult aimed at GNRO Media CEO Jim Spanfeller, as detailed in a Slate article from 2019. In other words, these guys can't take a fucking L. More information on Glennon's departure was reported by Aftermath, which itself consists mostly of Kotaku staff. Aftermath received a copy of Glennon's resignation letter, in which she told Spanfeller and Deputy Editorial Director Leah Goldman that she disagreed with the decision to focus the site's priorities on guides instead of news. And that's the big thing here, is that Kotaku decided to join in on the Sweet Baby Inc. situation. Specifically, I believe it was Alyssa Mercante that decided to start doing that, who has a personal weird fetish fascination with Mark Kern / Grums. Good luck with that one, Mark, because that's a really effed up stalker right there. Basically, in response to this, GNRO Media said, okay, well, if you're not going to do this, then we're going to push it for you. You have to cover games. Specifically, you're supposed to cover game guides. And as you guys will find out later in this article, but we did eventually confirm it, they were expected to write 50 guides a week for the website. And that's an impossible task, and I have a feeling that it was specifically made by Spanfeller in order to shutter Kotaku because he was done with their nonsense. And you know what? Who could blame him at this point? After careful consideration, I have concluded that the current management structure and decision-making processes at GNRO Media are not aligned with my values and goals for Kotaku. Well, you weren't aligned with GNRO Media's ideas for Kotaku, because he asked you to cover gaming, and instead you wanted to basically stand on a soapbox and whine and cry 24/7, and you weren't getting viewers from that. Now, were you? I'm sorry, readers. I firmly believe that the decision to invert Kotaku's editorial strategy to deprioritize news in favor of guides — you weren't covering the news, you weren't even really doing guides, you were instead just soapboxing all day — is fundamentally misguided given the current infrastructure of the site. How on earth would you be able to... I love the fact that she says the current infrastructure of the site. You were brought in October 10th, which I'm assuming, according to this article, is last year. How would you be able to talk on that? I'm just curious. This decision is directly contradicted by months of traffic data and shows an astonishing disregard for the livelihoods of the remaining writers and editors who work here. You actually cared about them? because you were running Kotaku into the ground. I'm not saying that Kotaku has the most not luxurious, what's the word I'm looking, prestigious reputation when it came to gaming news. There are far better outlets than you. And frankly, you deserved every bit of criticism that you were getting, not just from the readership and the comment section, but from GNRO Media, because you simply weren't delivering on what you promised. And he kept the lights on for you, and you still didn't do it. I don't feel bad for you. Aftermath also reports that Kotaku's remaining staff is now expected to write 50 guides a week for the site, and that its front page section, previously dedicated to breaking and major news stories, is now dedicated to tips and guides. And the addition that I have to add to this, because I am recording this a little bit later in case you guys can't tell, we have actually gotten news that GNRO Media has redacted some of this and put on more attainable goals. Let's put it that way. More attainable goals. And frankly, I don't think that was the right thing to do, because I think GNRO Media, the reason that they did that was because I'm pretty sure Jim Spanfeller knows that Kotaku is just wasting money at this point, and all he wanted to do was get it out of there like he did Deadspin, and probably also expecting another lawsuit like Deadspin got and eventually got sold off for. I think he was just trying to avoid a lot of that firestorm that could have eventually come down on him. And at this point, I mean, Kotaku is basically a money pit, so he put the atrocious requirements in order to shutter Kotaku. And frankly, I don't feel bad for the Kotaku writers, because they dug their own grave. They had years to be able to fix this, and they still had a bad reputation and never really tried to recover from it. I still remember them bitching about Nintendo not giving them review copies for Tears of the Kingdom after railing on Nintendo. So I'm kind of with GNRO Media on this one. I think they should have put up the 50 guides a week and let the doors close, because everybody at Kotaku, good luck with trying to find another job, because all it's going to have to say is, oh, you used to write for Kotaku, that horrible video games website? They barely ever covered the news. They instead decided to soapbox on people and tell gamers how horrible they are. We're going to go ahead and go to the next candidate. Thank you very much. So my thoughts on this is, first of all, GNRO Media, bring back the 50 guides a week. I think that would be a really great idea, and it would finally give the inclination to your staff that you ain't taking shit, and you either get to covering gaming or you get the fuck out. So that's kind of my viewpoint on the matter. And Kotaku, or GNRO Media, you should reinstate that 50 guides a week to get the point across. And hey, if they actually do try to get 50 guides a week out there, then you can lower it. And then you can say, okay, well, we still want you doing the game guides, but we're going to cut it down, and we're going to expect you to fulfill, I don't know, 30 guides a week or whatever is logical, because at that point that depends via the sites, because I know IGN doesn't put out that many. But that's my opinions on the matter. What do you guys think? Make sure to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of the Kotaku situation. Should Kotaku have just shut its doors? Should we still be dealing with any of the whining coming from former Kotaku staff? Feel free to leave in the comments down below. If you liked what you heard, consider leaving a like on the video, as well as subscribing to my channel. It really does help out with things like the YouTube algorithm, because in case you guys can't tell, YouTube isn't really helping me on any of that stuff, and I'm doing as much as I can. So you guys can help me out there, and I will see you guys next week for the next GNRO Minicast. Until then, take care, my friends.